Hi, I'm Emma. Welcome back if you've been here before, and if you're brand new, hello. Today I want to talk about Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne, specifically this copy right here. I've been trying to collect the Penguin Clothbound Classics, but I only want to do it when I've read the book, so the book doesn't go on my shelf unless I'm going to read it or I've read it. So I've just finished up with this one. Firstly, let's talk about the actual book itself. So this is a kind of light blue colour. It's got all of these beautiful stamps on it from around the trip around the world. It's got a little bit, it's yellow on the inside, it's beautiful. It comes with its own bookmark, which makes it nice and easy, and then it's got these bits on the inside. This copy, I don't think other copies or all of the copies do, but it comes with a chronology of Jules Verne's life, then the book, and then at the end it's got kind of some notes in there for maybe little bits that you didn't understand while you're going through the book, or little bits that the publisher that Penguin wanted to point out after the fact. It also had a couple of footnotes in there as well, but yeah. So I gave this a 4 stars when I was reading it, so that should tell you that I enjoyed it. But I do have some thoughts. I don't want to hold this up the entire time, so I'm not going to. But there's the book, and it's beautiful. And I can't wait to put it on my bookshelf and collect some more and create a rainbow because they're all different colours. So yeah, let's look at some of the stamps just quickly. We've got Egypt just there, San Francisco, Japan, another Japan? Yeah. Bombay, United States of not there, it's on the back, United States of America, and Paris as well. Okay, so if you haven't heard of this before, I assume that everybody, or most people, would have a basic knowledge of what it's about, but I will run through a basic plot. So Phileas Fogg is a guy from England. He doesn't really show his emotions. He's fairly wealthy. He goes to this gentleman's club every single day. They make a point at the beginning of the book of pointing out that he does kind of the same things every day, kind of very regimental. And at the very beginning of the book, he gets a new kind of servant, a French servant called Passepartout. I might be pronouncing that wrong. I'm really sorry because I'm going to pronounce it wrong the entire video if I am. But yeah, so he gets a new servant. The new servant's all like, oh my god, this is going to be, I'm obviously paraphrasing by the way, this is going to be so great. It's just going to be so easy. I'm going to know what to do at the exact times of day because Phileas Fogg does the same things every day. One of the papers published that it was now possible to get around the world in 80 days, and the gentlemen at the Gentlemen's Club were all discussing this. They were saying, no, it can't possibly be, and Phileas Fogg said, it can be done, and I will do it. And so they were all like, you don't have to do it. And he's like, I have to do it. So he went off on this adventure. He took Passepartout with him. He also took kind of a briefcase full of money. Fairly early on, I think when they get to India, there's a detective or an inspector who kind of gets the sense that Phileas Fogg is a bank robber. There's just been a robbery in a bank in England, and then all of a sudden Phileas Fogg is off on this adventure with tons of money, and the only possible explanation for this inspector is that it's Phileas Fogg. So he then kind of trails them for the rest of the journey, but they go on boats, they go in like on an elephant, all of the different ways that there were to travel back then. They did it. They went on a train. They rescued a lady in India from being a sacrifice. They help her escape. She's supposed to be going back to Europe. She sticks with Phileas Fogg and Passepartout. They get the train across America. There's some to do with the train, that's the whole adventure, and then eventually they get back to Liverpool, and the inspector is followed them all the way there, and his warrant he can only use his warrant in English countries. So once they get back to Liverpool, he's like, right, I can arrest Phileas Fogg, and so he does, and turns out Phileas Fogg didn't do the bank robbery. He didn't do the crime, so he gets away with it. They think they've not made it. They make it in the end. Sorry about the spoilers, but it's a very, very old book. So that's basically the gist. Oh, and he marries the Indian lady that he rescued. So that's the basic gist of the story. So Phileas Fogg, like I said, he is described as this very regimental, kind of hard, cold, kind of man, and I really liked his character at the beginning of the book. He kind of warms up a little bit towards the end, not a ton. He's still the same person, but yeah, you see him kind of like soften towards Passepartout and to, I can't remember the lady's name, but the lady that they rescued from India. You see him kind of soften to them, but at the beginning he's very like stiff, and he talks to them in a sense that you would expect him to, and I liked that character. I've not really read many characters like that. I found Passepartout very funny. I liked the little side quests that he went on. The relationship between him and the detective was really interesting. I really liked that. I do have some negatives, but let's talk about the positives first. So I like the characters. I thought they were very well written. I thought the book overall was very well written, especially considering it's such a short book to have so much adventure packed in there, and considering the whole story is based around this 80 days and this, so that's your time span, and then you're going to different countries. I didn't at once find it boring. I thought it was really interesting. Overall, I hadn't really read anything like that before, and I liked the relationships between the characters, so those are all wins. There was a lot of racial stereotyping in the book. I don't know if that's because of the time period. I would assume that's what it was, like the time period it was written, not the time period it's based in. But I assume that's what it is. But there are racial stereotypes almost about every country they set foot in. So obviously that was something I hadn't read before. And I think it does disclaimer it at the beginning of the book, but I didn't read the disclaimers. But yeah, so there's that. If that's going to be triggering, then I would not recommend reading the book. And obviously I wouldn't expect a book that's written now to have those kind of stereotypes in it, but this book did, so there's that. We didn't get to see, I'm moving on to the negatives now in case you haven't noticed. I did really enjoy the book, but I do think it's important to touch on a couple of these things. The countries that we went into, I would have loved to have explored a little bit more. Obviously they're on a time crunch, so it is what it is, but the only time we got to see any of the country is when like Passepartout went off to do his little things, and then that wasn't really very much. And then they did adventure on an elephant for a while. That was really interesting, but yeah, there wasn't a ton of like the different countries, and they were always staying like by the ports, so and a lot of the meeting up, there is one section in the book where Phileas Fogg misses the boat. Passepartout doesn't get the message, there's some cross wires, so they get on different boats and they still end up able to find each other, which I don't know if was very realistic, but it is what it is. And I thought the ending felt a little bit rushed for me. It was kind of like, we've not done it. Oh wait, yes we have. But overall, I wasn't expecting to like this at all. I thought I would really struggle reading the classics, and I know that I'm gonna have to read some more of the classics because I want to read I want to read all of them that are in the collection. So overall, I was pretty chuffed with it because I was able to kind of grasp what was going on. It wasn't difficult to read. I wouldn't mind reading some more of Jules Verne's stuff, which is good because I think there is another one in the collection by him. You could tell in the book the time period it was written as well, so there's no mistaking that it was old England and he was an old English gentleman, and the gentleman's club existed, and it was like very not Oliver Twisty, but kind of that kind of time. And yeah, you could tell of those things by the way that the characters were speaking to one another, and yeah, it was very fast paced, very, very easy to read. The book is beautiful, but there are obviously other editions of this as well. If you just want to read the story, then you can probably pick it up really cheap. But I liked it. I liked it way more than I thought I would. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this review. If there's anything else you want me to include in reviews that I have missed out of this one, let me know, because I do plan on reviewing any more of the classics that I read, and I know that I haven't posted a video here in a very long time, but thank you to the few of you that have stayed subscribed, and any new people that would like to subscribe, feel free to do so. But yeah, so that was Around the World in 80 Days. I enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on it down below. Have you seen any of the films as well? Because all of the films have pictures of hot air balloons, and not once does he go in a hot air balloon in the book, so I don't know where they got that from, but there is another book by Jules Verne about a hot air balloon, I believe, so maybe they've just merged the two together. But yeah, if you've read this, let me know your thoughts. Would you read this? Are you interested in a classic or an old book like this one? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed my review. If you have, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and I will see you next time. Bye.